I'm releasing this song in February because February is a month where I reflect and I think about where I've come from, and it represents a time in my life where I made a lot of decisions and I came to terms with a lot of things that God was doing and saying to me, and I had been running and trying to avoid them. And February 2011 was when all of that running came to a stop. I had decided to get baptized completely unexpectedly, and I had also made the confession that I believe that Jesus is my Lord and that I want Him to be the Lord over my life. To know that 9 years later, I'm putting out a song that talks about that story, I could have never thought that this would be what I'd be doing, but here it is, and it's the fruit of a decision that I've made, and I want it to inspire others to make that same decision. I think about how God pursued me. There was a lot of options that were put in front of me of paths that I could have taken, drugs, honestly being an atheist, being agnostic. Letting the opinions of people was an option of literally changing the course of my life. It's crazy that I didn't take any of those routes because there was nothing pushing me towards Jesus. There was nothing encouraging me to go that way. For some reason, it was in me that it just didn't make sense without Him. There just couldn't have been another way. I know what it feels like when you feel like God is silent, when you don't really know church in a sense of it's a place where I meet God, it's just a place where I go just to be. I know what that's like, I know what that feels like, but I also know that when you've really tasted the presence of God, or when you tasted the love of God, like there's just no going back. Maybe you've never been to church, maybe you've been going to church your whole life, but there's a deeper level in it, and there's a realness to it. The song is called You Found Me, and it's my story because, like I said, it doesn't make sense as to why I'm here, why I sing Christian songs, or why I even wanted to go this route. It just doesn't make sense because there was, like I said, no one encouraging me to go in that route, no one in my household. As a matter of fact, it was more them saying that's not the way. Like, that's not the way to do it, don't do it. So I call the song You Found Me because I felt like regardless of what was going on, regardless of my lifestyle or my family or my just situation or my mindset, God still found a way to get to me. I say that He found me because, like I said, I wasn't looking for Him. I was not looking for Him. I was not pursuing Him. I was not praying. I was not seeking Him. I didn't own a Bible. I didn't know preachers. I didn't know church. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. And I want people to know that if He can do that for me, He can do that for anyone. He can meet you right where you are. God doesn't have borders when it comes to who or how He does things. What I want people to know is just that, like, He can find you. And as a matter of fact, if you don't completely know Him, He's actually looking for you, and He's actually seeking you. And the Bible talks about how there was a shepherd that there was one lost sheep out of 100 sheep, and this shepherd actually left the others to find this one. And the message from that is that it doesn't matter how many people believe or who's in church or who's not or who's a Christian, whatever. God is always looking for those that are lost. Like, that's His mission. He's gonna go out of His way, go to any length to find you. And that's just crazy to think of, that there's like a God of the universe that's looking for people that He can love and looking for people that He can save and have to Himself. Just doesn't make sense. And when I think about it, it just gives me so much joy. I won't take any credit for what He's done, who I am now, because like I said, I wasn't looking for it, I wasn't asking for it, I didn't pursue it, I didn't work for it. As a matter of fact, I don't deserve it. And I want that to also be something that speaks to anyone, that no matter what you have, no matter what your accomplishments are, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, you're on borrowed breath. You're alive and you're breathing because of Him. I used to even take so much pride in living for God. Like, I'm living for God. Like, no, I won't even take credit for that because He found me and inspired me to do that. I love the story of Paul because Paul was actually a murderer of Christians. Like, we think about all the things that we've done, but like, that's the worst of the worst. God literally stopped him in his tracks and he had an encounter, was convicted, and from that moment his life was never the same. Just by one encounter, by one moment. He wasn't looking for the moment, he wasn't entitled for the moment, and yet Jesus found him and said, I want you to be the one that's going to continue to build my church. And he's saying the same thing to all of us, is that he wants us. He wants us. He's seeking after us. He's pursuing us. Hagar was alone, she was defeated, she was abandoned, and an angel of the Lord met her in her need, the point where she's about to give up and die. That's how God does it. He meets us in the worst of situations. So bottom line, I am super excited to share this. It's my first single, but overall, it's the fruit of my life. It's the fruit of a decision that I've made. It's something that I'm giving to God as an offering for what He's done in my life. And I'm just going to say, God, just use it in whatever way you want to use it.